Hey Southwest Region, Amy back here with the next QRT. I'm really excited because we're sitting here with Matt Crowther out of the South Denver office. What are your career sales now, Matt?
79,000.
79,000, that is awesome. And you just won limo day here, right? At the SC2 push. What was your SC2 push total?
10,514.
10,514, very nice. So I saw you running late night with an FSM table last night, which went very late because people really wanted to talk to you, so I appreciate your effort there. He's one of our newest FSM Elite members as well at the region. So I figured we'd let him share. I think he told me that one of his strengths was rapport. So where do you think rapport starts?
Rapport starts right when you talk to the customer on the phone.
Okay. And so what would be rapport tips for while you're on that phone call?
Well, it kind of all goes back to how you do your demo, because for my demos, what I actually do is at the end of each demo, like 5 minutes in the car, I take about, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to actually jot down on a 4x6 note card everything about that customer.
Everything that their referral told you about them?
Everything about that demo.
Oh, okay.
Everything about the customer that I was just with for the past hour or hour and a half. And so I'll write down all the kids' names, what each kid does. I'll write down, what they like to do, where they like to travel to, what hobbies the family has, what the father does for work. I'll literally fill up this 4x6 note card for every customer. And Jordan Foose actually taught me to do this, and I've been doing it for the past 3 months, and it's totally changed my business. And then when I call on the phone, right what I say on the phone is, I was meeting with your friend Betty, and she was just saying the nicest things about you. Did you actually, me and Betty were just chatting, did you actually know that she's been to like 14 different countries? Has she ever told you about any of those trips? And literally, that's the first thing that I'll do, is just build rapport about the friend on the phone. And so, and we'll usually talk for 2 or 3 minutes just about the friend.
Right.
And I'll just be looking at the note card, figuring out any ammunition that I can use with that friend on the phone. So it's like 8 out of 10 people who I call, I line up with, because I have built rapport with them for 2 to 4 minutes, and I've pretty much become their friend, and they don't want to say no to me. And typically I'm just like, oh yeah, by the way, about that appointment, let me just come over and we can keep talking. You know. And sometimes they don't even know what I'm coming over for.
Very cool. So what's the system? Where do the cards go once you're done setting that appointment? Do you have a filing system? How do you organize them?
Yeah, I just have them alphabetical.
Okay.
In one of those boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can always refer back to it. So then you always have that box with you when you're on phone calls then too.
Yep.
And awesome. Okay. And so you're on the phone call. You're building the rapport. You set the appointment. Is there anything, by the way, do you even need then to solidify the appointment? Do you have any problems with no-shows or?
Very, very rarely. And I'll do a couple things just to make sure that they know how important it is to me. And I always like leaving them, kind of with a smile, and pretty much everyone does this, but you always just want to say, hey, this appointment's really important to me. Jot down this time and my name in your schedule. Draw a little smiley face next to my name so you recognize me when I get there. Everyone always laughs, but it really solidifies the appointment, because if they're laughing, if they're smiling when they hang up the phone and they're looking at your name at that time, it's almost 100% that they're going to be there for that appointment.
Did you say there's another way you let them know how important it is to you?
I just let them know that, my main goal is just to do 15 appointments a week, and that's kind of the only goal that I really care about.
Right.
And so, I've only got, 12 set up, so I need 4 more for sure, or 3 more for sure.
Right.
And, you really helped me out to hit that goal of appointments this week.
Good. So they kind of know that without their appointment, you wouldn't really be hitting your goals. Which I've heard people actually use on the phone at the end, being like, I'm so appreciative, I look forward to seeing you, because without your appointment, I wouldn't hit my goals, so I really, really appreciate it, kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great line to use. So, let's talk about rapport on the demo then. Where does that start? You show up and?
You show up and right away you just really want to care about that customer, about how they're doing right in that moment. So you say, hey, how's your day going? And most people are like, yeah, really, really good. I'm like, has anything cool happened today or this last week that you're kind of fired up about? And I just like figuring out what those stories are, what those things that they've been doing are, and basically I do about half service calls, half demos, and the rapport building is the exact same through the whole thing. I don't open up my blue book for the first 15 minutes of my appointment every single time. So basically, I just set it to the side, and while I'm sharpening knives, I'm just building rapport. Or while I'm just kind of getting to know that customer, I just say, hey, I really just like to chat and get to know the people I meet with. If that's okay, we can just talk about a couple different things. I love building relationships, and I say that to all my customers, and they can feel that from me, because when I'm asking these questions like, how many kids do you have? How old are they? What do they love? Like, what are they involved with? Do they play the piano? Do they do sports? I really feel like that is just so important, because I really care about that person. One of my favorite things about this job is that I get to build relationships all day long. And ever since I was young, I've just loved building relationships. I remember, in high school, I would love just having 2 or 3 hour long conversations with people who I just barely met, just to kind of get to know what that person is, who they are. And so I love to really know my customers and the people who I meet with. And so, it starts with the first word that you say, and it ends with, the hug that I give my customers when I leave.
Nice. So you give everybody a hug?
Yep. And a lot of times my customers will give me hugs.
Right.
And, it ends it on a really nice note. And if they bought over $300 from me, then I always leave a thank you note, just for repeat business later in the future. But like even with the push, I had quite a few past customers who were just like, oh yeah, what do you need? I can help you out if you need something like that.
So let me ask you this. So building rapport throughout the presentation, is there anything you do like to make people laugh? I don't know if that's important to you. You try to like make them laugh, make it entertaining at all? Is it really just about being sincere? And
it is about being sincere, but you have to be real. People can tell if you're being fake a mile away, and you're not going to sell near as much if you're fake with your customers. So I actually have a goal list that I like to just briefly share. After I get out my blue book, I've got all of my business cards, about 50 or 60 business cards just right in front. I say, I love networking. Why don't we take a couple minutes, look through this? If there's any services that you need, I might have a customer who could help you out with that. Because I meet with 15 people a week. I'm rubbing shoulders with a lot of business owners and stuff like that. Cool. And then after that, I say, do you mind if I share my goals with you? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And so I'll just share a couple things that I'm doing. And my goal list is very comprehensive. It's got 12 different categories in every area of my life, and a couple things in each of those categories. I just share 2 of them. I share that I'm training for a marathon right now, because a dream I have in life is to do an Ironman in 4 years. And then I also will share just that, I love reading books, and a goal that I have in my life is to read the 100 greatest novels ever written. And I've only read 5 of them so far, and everyone always laughs at that. Right. 95 to go. Right. I just finished one, so I love kind of sharing those things with my customers. And I share, with Cutco, my goal is to be #1 in the Rising Star League, and right now I'm #3, so I'm catching up. Very cool. And then from there, a lot of people will kind of dive into those other things that you might have on the list. And if they're not into that, then you just move on and keep going, and you build rapport throughout the whole thing. For me, I really am actually interested in languages. And I lived in Ukraine for 2 years, so I know Russian. And I'm also studying Chinese. That's my minor in college. And my major is international business, and my goal is to know 5 languages. So I actually work a lot on languages every single day. And so that's one thing that I always talk with my customers about, is languages. And I'm just like, do you know any languages? I'm like, yeah, I'm actually studying Chinese. You want to hear some Chinese? Right. And I just say, why ni? And they all laugh, and they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, I love you. Right. And I just like to make my customers laugh and, be just different than anyone they've ever met. So
very cool. So tell me this, since we have like a minute left, as a rep, what do you think have been the most helpful tools for you just over your whole rep career as far as development, like increasing your skills and getting better and that kind of stuff?
Constant learning. Always having the desire to learn and grow. Because even at conferences, I've been doing this for over a year and a half, and even at conferences, sometimes you feel like, you might not want to go because you've heard those things over and over again. But you can take something out of everything. And if you have an open mind to learning and you just are constantly wanting to become better at certain skill sets and just about everything in the business, then there's no way that you can ever get bored with this job. There's no way that you can ever decrease in your results and in your skill set, because you only get better. And so I would just say that the biggest thing is just constantly be learning from top reps, from the audio files, from different, reps, not only in your office, but also in the region. Check out the sales report for the region and for the country. And just one thing I did is I went on Facebook and everyone in Silver Cup I made as my friend, and I've sent messages to a number of them just on tips and just kind of exchanging different things because I want to be better. I want to find out what caused that person to have a $10,000 week. How did they do that? Because I haven't done that yet. And I just had over it was about a 7,000 week over push. But I'm always looking to grow and get better at those things that I haven't done yet.
Cool. And kind of reaching out. That's nice, being proactive. Like looking at the report, finding them on Facebook, reaching out and asking for tips rather than just kind of sitting back and hoping that the tips come to you at some point.
Exactly.
And go to conferences because they are great learning tools.
They're the best.
They're the best.
They're so much fun too.
They are fun, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for today. I appreciate it again, Matt. Thank you so much. And keep your guys' eyes open for the next QRT. Have a good day.